readers, it's Eden. I am here for my November wrap up. I read a total of 5 books this November, 3 of which were audiobooks. And I got all of the audiobooks I mentioned, I got through Overdrive from my library. And I really, really hope that I expose you to something that maybe you haven't read. The first book that I read this month was Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis. I'll insert a picture of the cover here because this is one of the audiobooks that I read. This book is a book that I have been looking at and thinking about. It reminded me of some Greek and Roman mythology that I have read, and I thought that I would really enjoy it. This book is about a girl named Cosa, and this takes place in ancient times. They don't give you a time exactly, but in ancient times, in a city similar to one of the ancient Greek cities that you would read about. She is the Given, and the Given is a girl, always a girl, who is born and raised to be given to the sea to avoid a giant tidal wave destroying this city. Now, for some reason, it's been a really long time that this has been going on. There was a tidal wave that absolutely devastated this city years and years and years ago. And ever since then, there's been a girl who at some point in her life, she has this urge to dance. I don't know why it's dancing, but she starts dancing and she dances into the sea and the sea takes her. So it's kind of strange. The whole concept in general I get, but they never give you an explanation as to why this started happening. They willingly danced into the ocean. That's not something that I think was explained well in this book. I feel like it should be something that is told. Like, there has to be some backstory besides a giant tidal wave crushed this city years ago. So, but anyway, back to the whole thing. Cosa has to be with the man before she dies. She has to be with a man and give birth to a daughter before she goes into the sea. And she has this thing. She has no desire to be touched by any human being. So that's an issue. And she knows that the time is coming. She knows that she's going to have to choose someone, but she wants it to be on her terms. The problem is that she's getting these urges to dance, and people are having to hold her back from dancing into the ocean, and she has not given birth to a daughter yet. She's not pregnant yet. None of that has happened. And she meets this guy, and he's a prince, and he falls in love with her. And she is in love with the prince's adopted brother. So it's kind of like this big, messy love triangle, which is a pain in the butt in this case. I don't like the love triangle in this story. During all of this, like, they're getting to know each other. She's overcoming these issues with being touched. She's learning to let people in. And during all this, there are men that are trying to forcefully be with her and get her pregnant so that she can have this baby and they'll be saved. In their minds, they're trying to save everyone, but that doesn't happen in the book. Okay, there's not. It almost happened, so there is a little bit of a trigger warning in this book if that's something that affects you. But other than that, I enjoyed the story in general. I liked the romance side of the story. That is really all that held this book together for me. I think I gave this book 3 stars. Like I said, I like the whole idea, but I don't think it was executed well. The next book that I read was The Diviners by Libba Bray. This book is hard to explain to me. This book is kind of a historical fiction, fantasy, magical realism, romance, mystery horror type thing. It's a bunch of things combined into one. And our main character, she has the ability to see things that have happened to people by holding something of theirs. So like a ring, for example, she can hold that ring and tell things about these people. And she makes the mistake of doing that at a party and showing off, and she reveals something about someone that they want to be kept secret, and the person is really insulted. And our main character, I cannot remember her name for some reason, but our main character, she is sent to live with her uncle. Her name is Evie. She's sent to live with her uncle in New York City, and he runs this museum of paranormal artifacts and things. And he is aware of the divining thing, like diviner gifts. He doesn't reveal this. He's never actually said it, but he is aware. Something happens. There's a murder, and it's paranormal, and it's linked to cult type things. And Evie and her uncle and a couple of other people are brought in to solve these murders, and it comes out that she's a diviner. The story is creepy. Like, it's a creepy book. And there were several times where I had to put it down at night because I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is scaring the crap out of me. So it was like a daytime read. I did enjoy it. The whole time I was trying to figure out what would happen next, how they were going to stop this crazy person. I was going to work out if Evie was... There's the romance. I do ship Evie with a certain person. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen yet, but I do ship her with someone, so I was invested in that. I think I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because it did keep me really intrigued and involved. I cared a lot about what happened to the characters, and I think the mystery side of things, like the whole time I was going, oh my gosh, who's he gonna get next? Who's he gonna kill next? Like, who's he gonna get? How are they gonna stop him? What's his weakness? You know, the whole time I was going, oh my gosh. I have got the sequel on audiobook right now, and I'm trying to listen to that. I'm not very far in, but I recommend that book to anybody who enjoys... This is a good Halloween read. I recommend it to anybody who enjoys books that are creepy, scary, thriller, mystery type things. I really recommend it to those of you who like that, because that's the main genre, in my opinion. The next book that I listened to was The Revenge of Seven by Pittacus Lore. This is book number 5 of the Lorien Legacies. Those of you who aren't familiar with that series, I Am Number 4 is the first book in that series. And I didn't enjoy I Am Number 4 very much. I think I said this maybe in another video, I don't know. But I had seen the movie first, and I think that's why. But then I was like, I wonder if I would like audiobooks of this series better. So I got the second book on audio. Really enjoyed it. They have multiple narrators for these books, which really adds something to an audiobook, I think. I think I gave all of the audiobooks in this series that I listened to 2, 3, and 4, plus some of the mini series that goes with it called The Lost Files. I've listened to all of those on audiobook, and I have absolutely loved them. I plan on listening to the 6th one here pretty soon. I don't really want to get into what these books are about. I can't give you any detail about the Revenge of Seven without spoiling a lot of stuff for the rest of the series before this book. So 1 through 4, I can't tell you anything without ruining some things. But I Am Number 4, I can give you a synopsis of that, is about a young man who is Lorien. He's from another planet, and he was taken to Earth because of a terrible race of alien was taking over their planet, essentially. And he goes to Earth, and he makes an Earth friend, and he falls in love with an Earth girl, a human, and it kind of takes off from there. They're found, and they're on the run from these Mogadorians, or the bad race. They're on the run from them, and it's kind of about the whole process. And he's number 4, by the way. Like, there were 7 of them that were sent to Earth. They have to be killed in order, so 1 through 3 were killed, and so they were looking for 4, and that's kind of, they're on the run. Like, that's what's going on. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's more science fiction than a lot of other YA books, but if you like alien type stories, things like that, this is something that you will enjoy. The next book that I read was a physical book. It's called Rush by Maya Banks. This is, I would kind of compare this to 50 Shades of Grey. It's a series of 3, and each book is about a different person. So this book, the series, it's Gabe, Jason, Ash, and they're super wealthy, and they work together. They're best friends. This particular book is about Gabe and Jace, his little sister. So they have a thing, and it's really like there's some Dom stuff in here, but not bad. There are some things in this book that I don't agree with, and I didn't enjoy the writing style. I think I gave this 3 or 4 stars. I can't remember. Definitely not 5. At first, it was no romance. It was just sex, and I didn't agree with everything that was going on. Like, she was cool with it. So if, in my opinion, these books are okay as long as it's a mutual thing. And it was. But he started falling for her. She's pretty much already in love with him, and it's good this way. And I like the way it developed. There was some insta love type stuff, but I can see kind of where it was happening throughout the story. So it wasn't super bad insta love. It developed, but it was still kind of quick. Something happens when Gabe is trying to prove to himself that she's not the love of his life, pretty much, and something happens, and it's she wasn't okay with it, and something happens, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Why did that just happen? I hate him right now. Like, there was something in there. I wouldn't say, not really, it wasn't a trigger warning type thing, but it probably will bother some people. It did bother me. It's not something I was super okay with, but this, if you liked 50 Shades of Grey, you'll probably like this. Most people don't like 50 Shades of Grey. I did like it. I did enjoy the writing. Same with this. The writing to me in this was worse than 50 Shades of Grey, but if that's something that you can look past and you enjoy books like this, I definitely recommend it. The end of the book is the bomb. The next book that I read was an audiobook. It was The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I don't usually read diverse books in the way of sexuality. Now race and stuff I do, but that's not usually my thing. But this book, I was like, everybody was raving about this audiobook, so I was like, you know what, let me try it. So I did. I got it on Overdrive, and I started listening to it, and the romance was in there, and it didn't bother me at all. It was fine, no issues there. It was cute, but then the adventure part of this story is what drove me to finish it. I loved what was happening, the places that they went in this book. Venice, they went to Venice, they went to, I think, Paris, they were there, a Greek island, they went to a Greek island. I've been to these places. I've been to Venice. I know they were talking about Doge's palace, and I've seen that. You know, I've been there, I've stood there, and I think that's something that I really enjoyed. And the adventure of the story, everybody knows what this book is about. If you're watching this and you don't, I don't know, like, I don't know where you've been, under a rock probably. But this book is really good. If you like adventure, this is for you. It doesn't matter, you know, the romance is there, but if you like adventure, there's a hair. If you like adventure, this is for you. We start out, this young guy, Monty, he is in love with his best friend, who's a boy, and they are fixing to go on a trip, like this last trip before he has to take life seriously and start running things with his family. His dad hates him pretty much, and he wants him to straighten out. They have a escort for the trip, and they go, and one of their first stops, he really makes a mistake. He really screws up. Monty does, and because of that, they're being hunted down. And so they're on the run, but there's also some other things going on. Like, you don't understand what exactly is so important about the reason they're on the run, but then later on you find out, and it's like, wow, there's a lot more to this than I thought, you know. And so it just gets better and better and better. The more you read it, the better it gets. I excuse me. I've really enjoyed the audiobook. I finished it in just a matter of a few days. I definitely recommend the audiobook, not the physical book, the audiobook. It is awesome. So I think I gave it 5 stars. That is all I read in November. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that I've told you about some books that maybe you weren't super familiar with. At least 3 of the 5 books are books that I haven't heard a lot about on BookTube. So I hope that maybe I've interested in you in something that you might not have read if you hadn't listened to this video. And I definitely hope you pick up the audiobook for A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. It is wonderful. And I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.
Look out the window at that storm.
My sister will be suspicious,
Your lips are delicious.
and my brother will be there at the
Waves
door.
on a tropical
My
shore.
maintenance mind is
Gosh,
vicious,
your lips are so delicious.
but maybe just a cigarette
Never
more.
such a blizzard before.
I got to get
But
home.
baby, you'll freeze out there.
Say, lend me your
Oh, up
coat.
to your knees out there.
You've
I
really
thrill
been
when
great,
you touch my
but
hand.
you don't see.
How can you do this thing to
There's
me?
bound to be talk
Think of
tomorrow.
my lifelong
At least there
sorrow.
will be plenty implied.
If you caught pneumonia and
But I
died,
really can't
get over that
stay.
holdout. 'Cause
Oh,
baby, it's cold.